What you're about to see is not just another release. This is something that made the entire world pause and question everything. Welcome to Jikook Lover, the place where the biggest mysteries, the most emotional moments, and the truths no one saw coming are finally revealed. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comment right now, because after this, the way you see the fashion world, and maybe someone you thought you understood, might change forever. Because today, Dior has finally released something the entire world has been waiting for, and no one was ready for what came next. At first, there was nothing. No loud announcement, no dramatic countdown, no warning that something massive was about to unfold. Just silence, the kind of silence that feels unnatural, the kind that makes you pause without knowing why. Somewhere, somehow, the atmosphere had already begun to change, but no one could explain it yet. And then it happened. It didn't explode into the world. It didn't crash through the noise. It appeared quietly, almost gently, but its impact was anything but small. Screens lit up, notifications flooded in, hearts began racing. Within seconds, people across continents stopped what they were doing. In crowded cities and quiet rooms, in the middle of the day and the depths of the night, millions of eyes turned toward the same moment. The same image, the same release, Dior. A name that has carried power for generations. A name associated with elegance, control, and an almost untouchable aura of influence. But this time, it wasn't just about fashion. It wasn't just about aesthetics. This felt different. People who saw it first didn't immediately react. They stared. They leaned closer. They replayed it. Some felt chills they couldn't explain. Others felt an emotional pull they weren't expecting. It wasn't just something you looked at. It was something you felt. And that's when the questions began. Why now? Why like this? And what does it really mean? Because Dior doesn't release something without intention. Every movement is calculated. Every detail carries weight. Every decision is part of a larger story, one that often isn't fully understood until much later. But this time, the story felt bigger than usual. Within minutes, the internet began to transform. Conversations ignited across platforms. Fans began analyzing every frame, every shadow, every subtle detail. What did it symbolize? Was there a hidden message? Was this just a release, or the beginning of something else entirely? Speculation spread faster than facts. Some believed this moment had been planned for months, maybe even years. That subtle hints had been placed carefully along the way. Moments that once seemed ordinary now felt like clues. Forgotten details suddenly carried new meaning. Others believed this was more than strategy. They believed this was a statement. Because in a world oversaturated with content, it takes something extraordinary to make people stop. Truly stop. Not scroll. Not glance. But stop and feel something real. And that's exactly what happened. Even industry insiders, people who had seen everything before, struggled to explain it. They spoke carefully, choosing their words with precision, as if acknowledging something larger than a simple release. They knew they were witnessing a shift, but they couldn't yet define its full shape. Numbers began to rise. Views climbed at an impossible speed. Mentions multiplied. The name Dior echoed once again across the global stage, not as a whisper, but as a force. But the most powerful reaction wasn't measured in numbers. It was measured in emotion. Fans described feeling overwhelmed. Not just impressed, but moved. Some said it felt like witnessing history in real time. Others said it felt deeply personal, even though it was shared by millions. Why would a single release carry this much emotional weight? Why would something so controlled feel so raw? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, was this moment truly about what was released, or about what it represents? Because sometimes, the most powerful messages are the ones never spoken aloud. Sometimes, the most important shifts happen quietly. And sometimes, the world doesn't realize what it's witnessing until it's already too late to look away. There's a growing belief that this isn't the end of the story, that this is only the beginning, a beginning of something larger, something transformative, something that could redefine not only Dior's future, but the relationship between influence, identity, and global culture itself. Because moments like this don't happen randomly. They happen when something is changing, when an era is ending, when another is about to begin. And now, the world is watching more closely than ever, waiting for the next move, the next sign, the next reveal. And then, just when the world thought it had seen everything, another realization began to spread. This wasn't only about Dior. It was about him, about the presence that didn't need to announce itself loudly because its impact was already understood. The figure whose connection with Dior had long transcended the boundaries of a typical ambassador. The one many had already crowned, without hesitation, without debate, as the true king of Dior. Jimin. At first, his presence wasn't confirmed. Fans noticed subtle hints. The silhouette, the posture, the unmistakable aura that couldn't belong to anyone else. There was something in the way the moment carried emotion, restraint, and quiet power all at once. Something only he could embody. And then, as the visuals became clearer, the truth settled in like a wave crashing over millions at the same time. It was him. Not loudly, not aggressively, but undeniably. Jimin didn't need dramatic movement to command attention. He never did. His power had always lived in the smallest details. The way he held himself, the calm intensity in his gaze, the feeling that he wasn't just wearing Dior, he was becoming part of its identity. Or perhaps, Dior had become part of his. Fans across the world reacted instantly, their emotions spilling into timelines and comment sections. Some said they felt proud, others said they felt overwhelmed. Many simply said they couldn't breathe for a moment, because this wasn't just another appearance. This felt like confirmation of what fans had believed all along. That Jimin wasn't just representing Dior. He wasn't just collaborating with the house. He wasn't just another global face added to its legacy. He was defining it. For years, Dior had symbolized elegance, control, and timeless influence. But with Jimin, something new had emerged. Something more human, more emotional, more alive. He brought vulnerability into power. He brought softness into strength. He brought emotion into legacy. And now, with this release, it felt as if Dior itself was acknowledging that transformation. The camera didn't rush him. It didn't need to. Every second lingered, allowing the world to absorb what it was witnessing. There was no need for excess, no need for noise. His presence alone carried enough gravity. It wasn't just fashion anymore. It was storytelling. It was evolution. It was history unfolding in real time. Industry analysts began quietly admitting what fans had already declared long ago. That Jimin's influence wasn't temporary. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't manufactured. It was inevitable. He had crossed the invisible line between ambassador and icon, between participant and symbol, between wearer and legend. And perhaps the most powerful part of all was how effortless it seemed. He didn't appear to chase the moment. The moment appeared to arrive for him, as if Dior itself had been waiting for the right time, waiting for the right presence, waiting for the one person who could carry its legacy into something entirely new. And now that it had happened, the world couldn't stop asking the question that lingered in every mind, every comment, every heartbeat watching from afar. Was this simply another release featuring Jimin, the king of Dior? Or was this the moment that confirmed he was no longer just part of Dior's story, but the moment Dior became part of his?